And welcome to this edition of Utah Business Matters, your weekly television window to small business here in the state of Utah. And we begin with a throwback to service over product. His name, Dave Woodmansee. His product, clean water for your home and community.
I worked for Federal Express for 12 years, and it's the best thing that ever happened. They taught me about customer service, about being on time, about making sure it gets done without any excuses. It was the best company in the world to work for, except it tied my life up. And I knew every day when I said, sign here on line 17, that I wanted to do something else. Because I've never been happier in my life than now. You know, I used to sit behind a desk and tell people to go do this. Now I'm the guy doing it, and I get so much more satisfaction out of that. And you see people at home shows and whatnot and go, oh, I'm so glad I met you guys. You know, your water is just so much better now that you guys have put this filtration on there, and it's usable, and I can bathe my grandkids in it, and it doesn't stink. And that started to build the love for water because I was, giving them a tangible product every single day they woke up and took a drink of water or shower. 2000, I put out a Yellow Page ad, big leap of faith. The phones rang. I found out there's a real niche out there to fix these things instead of walking in and trying to tell them they need to replace it. These systems right here, they're actually used systems that I've refurbished that I sell dirt cheap to people. And what's nice, you get an elderly lady that's really on a budget. She can't afford anything, and I'll come and put this used system in and warranty it for her for a year. And you save the day because they're not paying $2,000 for a water treatment system. The EPA regulates the water that enters our homes, okay? And for the most part, it needs to be under 500 parts per million. But they don't regulate calcium, magnesium, and lime. And we're in the Rocky Mountains, and we pull from well water, and we pull from surface water. And a lot of that has heavy mineral in it. So it's left in your home as scale, and in the bottom of your water heater is a brick, and you hear it popping, and your glasses are all creamed with scale. If you want to do the addition matter, you put lime away, and you put fabric softener, and you combat all of the water chemicals with chemical. Or the subtraction method is you pull the calcium, magnesium, and lime right out of the water so it's not there. It's literally like having a little fairy in your house running around and cleaning everything while you go to bed at night. The national average hardness is 10 parts per million. Here in Bountiful, we're 25. And people go, oh wow, that's crazy, we're 25. Well, Salt Lake City is 16. But then we trump them all by saying if you live out in Harriman or Riverton, it's 44. So those are grains per gallon. 44 grains of hardness per gallon of water is huge. I've had people call me and say, this is my third dishwasher and they do not work. And I say, it's not your dishwasher, it's your water. And they go, I know, that's why you're here. Someone told me that. You put a water treatment system in there and now they're on their same dishwasher for 10, 15 years. I'm at the niche where I'm doing filtration systems is a much cheaper way of going than it is to buy bottled water. And with the environment and all the bottles that pile up and get sent to the dump and whatnot and aren't being recycled, if you recycle them, great, but there's a lot that aren't. I go all the way down to the south tip of Provo and all the way up into Logan. Like here at the new Brio restaurant is a 250,000 grain water softener that goes through a carbon filtration system, which goes through this commercial reverse osmosis unit into this calcite filter, into this storage tank, and then as you want to drink a water, or you want ice cubes or whatnot, the water then goes finally through this ultraviolet light and into the stations throughout the restaurant that use the purified water as part of their product. Think about it, a lot of restaurants you go to, you take a drink of their water and you go, whoa, what is this? And it's a lot of times because you're used to bottled water or you've got a reverse osmosis at home. But in this case, this restaurant's gone above and beyond the call of duty to give you some purified water at every one of their tables. The water comes into a pre-filter and it filters out all the big stuff. Anything over 5 micron, it'll pull it out. And you'll be surprised how many little specks of dirt you'll find on this particular filter. And then it goes through a membrane. Now the membrane is a 0.005 micron membrane. water literally has to penetrate it by removing all the mineral and the solids that are in the water, because it can't penetrate that membrane. And then when you go to your spigot, or your ice maker calls for water, or your refrigerator calls for water, the water runs through that post-carbon filter just to sharpen up the taste of the water, to make sure, you know, the system itself didn't give it a little off taste or whatnot, and it's on to you. And it tastes just like Dasani or Aquafina or any of those bottled waters that you can buy that are processed through reverse osmosis. There's a lot of guys that advertise a lot, you know, beating the big drum, come out for this water treatment, that water treatment, and whatever. And when that happens, you see there's a lot of cost involved in it, because they got a huge overhead with advertising. You call the little guy that's been experienced for 20 years like me, I'm going to go and bend over backwards for you.
We were having problems with our water softener, and I called the gentleman. He came out and told me we needed a new one. Well, it wasn't even 10 years old. I said, well, I want another bid. So I called this company, and Dave is the one that answered, and he says, well, let me come and look at it. And so he came that afternoon and looked at it and said, I can fix it. It was nice to do business with somebody that we knew, that we could call back if we needed them. But we've only had positive things.
Just yesterday I went and fixed one. She goes, you remember Dave? Dave, I mean, he came here like 7, 8 years ago and we lost track of him. Oh yeah, Dave. And I was there, I was welcomed like I was a member of the family.
Dave would drop the filters off if I needed them, and you know, just kind of, or send a guy out. You know, he would kind of go out of his way to make sure that, you know, we had the water tested or whatever it was, and didn't ever seem to be put out or bothered or act, you know, like this is just a stupid filter change and why should I, you know, or kind of act, you know, act irritable about minor things, but was always, you know, would always answer his phone, which is unusual, and he would call me back.
I'm at the point where I'm probably happier in my life than I've ever been, but as I get bigger, I'm not afraid of that. You know, there's going to be more work, and maybe this will help me with my customers go, oh, Dave's back out there. Okay, let's call Dave.